Down the screen with Standards.
I never felt I really belonged at the Arnold Higginbotham Collegiate Preparatory Institute for Men. But neither did anybody else, as far as I could tell. That wasn't their agenda. You may have heard about their motto, repression plus oppression equals privilege. I went to my class reunion a couple of weeks ago. Raised a few with some guys I hadn't seen in forever. And I was absolutely fascinated to find it was okay. Not awful, not fantastic, not at all the way I remembered it. Certainly not the way you look at things as a teenager. Not one woman showed up. Not one girl from our class at Miss Bovary's Ladies Auxiliary Academy came to her own reunion. The word on the street was, this is because they hated our guts. They probably had good reason. But I don't think I was one of them. I was a gangly dork who spent his time in his room listening to records, not even the cool ones, and hanging out with my dog, Igor. Igor was, we got him from the pound. He was kind of ugly, he was kind of dumb, and he had absolutely no self-esteem at all. And he was just great. I remember once I took him to the park and let him off the leash, and he ran out into the street just to jump up on this little MG convertible at a stoplight and say hi to the driver. Jumped right up on the door. And I have no doubt that once the man's heart swallowed back out of his mouth into his chest, he found it almost as amusing as I did. Shawnee mentioned somebody earlier tonight. I saw a quote this week from Aristotle. A friend to all is a friend to none. Mm-hmm. Now, I know that I am not as brilliant as that philosopher, or apparently as Amy. But it does make me question, did he ever meet a dog? You know, I was wrong. I actually did upset one girl at that school. Sheila Ann was sweet and shy, and we were in a play together, a class play, the Martyrs of the War Against Northern Aggression. And one night I invited her to go out with my parents and me to the local opera house where they were performing Il Inevitabile Tragedia dell'Amore. Afterwards, my dad drove us back to her place. I walked her up to her door, leaned in to kiss her goodnight, and she screamed and slammed the screen in my face. Like I said, shy and sweet. The next night, Bruno, Percy, and I went out and found ourselves in a bar. We couldn't order anything to drink, but listening to a jazz pianist. He was playing a standard. He said, but I didn't recognize it. Turned to Percy and mentioned this, and he told me that's because I was stupid. It's a standard, you should know it. So I asked him what the song was, and he told me to shut up. Percy was the oldest of a family of boys, don't you know? Later, we made our way to a school party. I walked in and There across the room was my coy date from the night before. I was thrilled. She was talking to a group of girls. I ran up. "Hey, Sheila Ann! Wasn't that fun last night?" She smiled politely and said hi, turned back to them and rolled her eyes. I pulled up a chair. She leaned in and whispered something to them. And then they talked among themselves until she pointed out a boy across the room and talked about how cute he looked tonight. After a couple of minutes, I stood up and made my way across the party to a corner where I spent the rest of the evening not breathing very well. When I got home, laid on the floor, sitting up on the floor, Igor came and lay against my leg. "Hey, Doug, rough night?" "Yeah, and I don't know why." "Was somebody mean to you?" "Kinda. Sheila Ann." "Sheila Ann from last night?" "Yeah, she acted like she didn't even know me or didn't want to." "Oh, man, I know just what that's like. Nobody thinks I'm worth a damn either. Your mom doesn't think anything of me, your dad doesn't." "Well, who cares what they think, Igor? You know, I think you're the best thing in my life." "And what makes you think I don't feel the same way about you?" He was right. Life was a lot easier if you didn't have hopes or self-esteem. Those only served to make the unbearable more painful. But I was right too. Aristotle definitely